Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is TJ Anderson here with Heads Up Health, and today I'm joined with one of our favorite health professional members, the one and only Karen Martel. So Karen is a transformational nutrition coach and expert in women's weight loss resistance and hormone health. And so she was actually one of our early adopter clients. And we still have our early adopter program, our Founders Club, available right now at the time of recording here at the end of June. But anyways, I'm here to ask Karen about her experience with us, a little bit about her practice and her top tips for other health professionals that are interested in exploring running a more data-driven practice. So Karen, why don't you start by sharing with everyone a little bit about who you are and the work that you offer in the world through your practice?
You bet. Thanks for having me, TJ.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do this because I think you guys have been so awesome and I just want to spread the word for you. As for me, I run a private coaching business as well a membership group, a couple of membership groups. One that I use with the Heads Up Health is a women's group coaching program where I help women to ultimately lose the weight, but also balance their hormones. It's a very hormone-driven group. So I'm really trying to teach women that they have to balance their hormones in order for them to successfully lose weight and just feel their best as they age. So Heads Up Health has been an awesome tool that I've now been able to offer my members actually as part of their membership.
Awesome. Cool. That's great. So we got your focus down, but you also have two kind of models, the membership and then the coaching, which, you know, do you use Heads Up for both the membership program and the coaching, the private work?
No, because I mostly I'm really trying to go into just the membership side of things. So I've been to the private coaching. I do offer it, but I only have a couple of them that are using it right now because I'm really trying to keep it for mostly towards the membership side of things, because the coaching, it could be used, but they would have to be consistently seeing me. And I don't often do that. I usually see people only a couple of times in order to get them where they need to be, or I sell a lot of hormone test kits.
Sure.
And that's a big base of it. And so I do quick 20-minute interpretation sessions with the hormone tests. And that's a big bulk of the coaching.
Wow.
So
yeah.
I've tried to just focus it on the membership side of things because I wanted to just add value to the membership as well. I was having so many issues trying to organize the lab work that I was seeing from the members. That's part of the membership is I will go over lab work for people in the group coaching sessions and give them my suggestions on what I see with their lab work. Because we do a lot of hormone testing, because I try and really help women to what I call find their weight loss code. It has so much to do with testing. So I have people, you know, I watched their body temperature. That was a huge one. Their blood sugar levels, all of these things that they actually do from home. And they were sending me all of their information, and I'm getting, you know, hundreds of emails a day and from many different people. We have about 100 members, but you can imagine, especially as they came in, I was just getting bombarded, and there was no way to organize it and keep it tight. And so it was like, when I heard about what you guys were doing, and it just happened to be, Dave and I did interviews with each other. So he was on my podcast and I was on your guys' podcast, and it just happened to be the right timing where he said, hey, we're starting this pro account and I think you would be a good fit. And I was like, oh yes, I would be for sure.
Right.
So it just, now clients can the members email me and say, Karen, I've got some new lab work in the Heads Up Health account. Can you go in and check it out? If if somebody's really struggling, then I have somewhere to go in and look at and see what's going on and say, okay, well, Janet, your blood glucose has been going too high. This is what you need to do. Or, hey, your temps aren't right, or your estrogen levels are too low. And you guys give so many options, and you created my dashboard specifically for me. So, it has the temperature, it has the BMI, it has the weight, it has the measurements. And then as well, you guys actually put in the specific lab ranges for the private lab that I work with for hormone testing, which was
Right,
huge.
your custom reference ranges. Yeah, yeah. Well, thanks for singing our praises, and glad it's been of value. Obviously, that's what it's all about. Is how can we be of value to support, like you said, the challenge, your original issue of, oh my gosh, it's like a fire hydrant of data
Oh,
coming
it
at me
was
from
terrible.
a
Yeah.
hundred emails a day. All right, that's a lot of emails specifically just one issue, one category.
Yeah.
So we solved that. That's pretty powerful. So and the organizing. So we organize the data, and I'm glad you mentioned that. That's basically just for people to listen. And you're talking about the dashboard. You're talking about the lab results. We organize and centralize both lifestyle and clinical data all in one place. And so and then we also add the analytics tools, which we can get into. That's the second phase. But organize is phase one. Phase two is is what we call analyze. And so tell us about, the analysis. So you're able to like also remotely monitor your clients. So it's a remote monitoring platform as well. And so it's organized and you can monitor. And then the analysis, like what are some examples, of some of the most important data points? You already mentioned a few of them, like the body temperature and of course the hormones, estrogen levels. What have you learned in in using our reports feature, right? The analyzer that allows you to correlate and analyze the data. What's that been like for you?
Well, for instance, I just ran a 4-week challenge within the group where we did just a really low carb, it was called clean keto detox, where they were having like taking certain supplements and liver detox stuff and really, really clean meal plan. And we ended it in what's called the fasting mimicking diet. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's a 7-day fasting mimicking diet. So it was 4-week challenge. It's always one of our big ones out of the year because we'd run a couple challenges throughout the year. And this is the first challenge that I've been part of the Heads Up Health during one of the challenges. So they just finished the challenge on Sunday. So I'm going to go in now and I'm going to see whoever took place in the challenge. I'm going to collectively be able to see what was the group weight loss. So I'm not going to specifically say, oh, so-and-so lost 10 pounds. I know a lot because I can go in and I can see how many of them lost weight. Right. And now I can go, okay, collectively, we've lost 50 pounds as a group during this 4-week challenge. So I can kind of give them, I don't know what it's going to be. I haven't looked yet, but right. I'll be able to tell them like, hey, look at how awesome this is. And I know it's been great because many of them have gone on and actually said on the forum, I've lost X amount of weight. So I know that there's been some great success with it. So,
but you can look at it in a group and see like analyze, oh, wow, look at the progress through this protocol or this program, this challenge that I led for my clients, like look at their progress in that. And that's speaking to ultimately the whole point of data. Like what good is data if it, like, even if it's good data, what good is good data if it doesn't lead to some sort of intentional, like impactful behavior, sustainable behavior change, right?
Exactly.
Like better outcomes, right? And so that's an example of how our system allows you, if you're listening, to really validate your programs and protocols. And so, and that tightens the feedback loop, right? So internally, you can review that, of course, celebrate it externally with your whole group and use that as momentum, but also like refine and keep improving and learning how to better iterate your offerings. So that's
And
cool.
So a lot of them too, they came into the group with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. Many have thyroid problems and they were not optimized on their thyroid medication. It's very common not to be. And so I've been able to see many of these members go from with these real crappy temperature readings, which is a reflection of their thyroid state, as well, really bad lab work, like as far as their thyroid went, it was all too low range, their blood glucose too high for the ones that had insulin resistance. And I've been able to see within a couple of months of just giving them certain tips and different suggestions throughout our group coaching program, I've been able to see their improvement. And what's nice is a lot of people, they focus on what hasn't happened yet, right? So a lot of women, you know, whether it's, oh, I've only lost 5 pounds and I want to lose this much, or I'm still not sleeping, or I'm still this, I can go in and point out, yeah, but look at how far you've come. Like you no longer have insulin resistance. Your temperatures are where they should be, which means your thyroid is optimized. And they're like, oh, a lot of them don't, you know, people tend to focus on what hasn't happened yet.
Exactly.
And I can now go in and say, and there's been so much improvement with so many of them. So
Yeah.
I've been able to say, look at how great this is. And even if they're not focusing on the bad, I can still go in and say, hey, look at how great you've been doing. Good for you. And just comment on it and say, like, congratulations, like this is working. And it's proof that my system works. So as far as that goes, it gets people to stay in the membership group because they can see, wow, look at how many things have gotten better since I started this program.
It lowers your churn rate, or people that
Totally.
might leave your group. So it helps keep them like as clients for life, because they're happy. And what came up for me as you were explaining that whole piece around, like, oh, if they're focusing on the bad, like the data doesn't lie. So if you look at the data, it's up to you to actually like accept it. And when you can see it, it's a lot easier to accept it and celebrate it. So kudos for you for really using the power of even incremental progress to celebrate the success and the wins of your clients, because it sounds like it's just so powerful for momentum, for sparking their inspiration moving forward.
Yeah.
So,
and I didn't raise my prices when I started this because I just wanted to add it as a bonus. And now it's on my landing page, my selling page, and it's highlighted, like, look at what you get. And whenever I do, you know, a sales on the sale on an open up registration, that's a big piece of it is, this is what you get. Look at that. You get a free membership for Heads Up Health account. You can monitor all of your, you know, your hormones, your blood glucose, all of your lab work, all in one place. And it's a big bonus. Like people see it as like, oh, this is included in the membership. Wow. And I think that is huge. It's just as a bonus. People love it. Even if people don't use it, TJ, they see it as, this is great. This is a great option to be able to have.
Right. And that's something we now, I don't know if we mentioned that, highlighted that to you early on, because you've been on the system now for probably, 3 or 4 or 5 months, but with clients. But that's what we say to all of our health coaches and doctors and nutritionists and health leaders that use our platform now. It speaks for itself, and we're here to not just be another software, but actually help you use our offering as a bonus, as a value add to help you sell and promote your offering. So I didn't even know you were actually using that. That's a great example. So maybe we'll get like a screenshot or show people like how you show and plug Heads Up in your offerings. I think that's a great kind of tool and tip. And speaking of, to close out here, what are your top tips? So for coaches, doctors, like everyone these days is coming to us saying like, oh, I'm trying to go virtual, or, oh, like I love what you're doing with the data. The monitoring is really important. And they're asking us tips around their business model too. So, and we're here to help with that. I'm sure you have some ideas as well on the business model of how you're using Heads Up, and just, if they're looking to build a more data-driven practice, what are your top tips for them?
I think training the members is going to be really key for everybody. Like if this is something they have in mind, it is a good idea to, like I put up a whole thing about, I went in and I videotaped a screen share of me going into the Heads Up Health account and showing them how to add all of their information by video. I also did a jot form that everybody, when they come into the group, they have to read this thing where it says, I get to see their information, that this is part of your membership. And once they are no longer a member, that they can, yes, continue with the Heads Up Health account, but that then they will be responsible for the payment of it.
Right.
So I've put all that in. I also actually put it in a clause that said, if we see that you do not use it for 4 weeks, we will remove you from it. And this just helps me organize the people that are using it. So I'm not wasting my time going in and looking at people. And you guys just added this awesome feature that actually shows when the last time they were in, right?
Yes,
so if I see, like, I had a
login.
couple people that joined and, 2 months went by and they hadn't done and not one input. And so I pull them off, and it's like, okay, no, then, we're going to save these spaces
Right.
for other members that are using it. So I think having that, like having them sign the jot form that just says that you have the right to look at their information, that you're not
Yep.
going to sell it or anything like that, I think is super key just for legal matters. And then also to let people know that, if they quit, they're no longer part of that, etc. So I think that that's great to have in place. Use it as a bonus. I think you guys give a pretty good deal where you could just add it as value to your coaching practice and to to a membership group. It could go for either one, really. I think if I had more of a coaching practice, I would 100% be using it because you could then, it would be a place where you could, especially as you guys start to, you have a lot of awesome things that are coming. Right. that you've told me about. I think when those things happen, it'll certainly really help, like, to be able to communicate with the client out of the dashboard and be able to go in and see their progress and see if what they're doing. I looked at a lot of different software before, actually. For about 2 years, I looked at different software for something like what you guys provided, just as a place where I could go, a portal that I could go in and chat with clients, that I could see what they were doing. Nothing had really fit the bill yet. So it was great when you guys came along and offered this to me, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's try it. And it's been awesome. You guys have been great with customer service, like probably one of the best I've come across. As far as, like, I have this problem, like, we had some kinks to work out when I was one of the first people in this group. So there was a few kinks that we had to work out, but besides that, you guys, Dave would get a hold of me, or you would right away, like, okay, Karen, we're on it. Let's fix this. And within 24 hours, it was fixed. I had a meeting with one of your software guys who took his time to go over all of the different things that I wanted in my own dashboard. So I would recommend that if you're coming into this, really put some time and thought into what is it that you want to track with your clients, because you guys offer a lot of data stuff, right?
Exactly.
So to keep it so it's not overwhelming for the client, so that you can have this very specific dashboard of things that you want them to track. And then they can add to that however they want personally. But I think it's really important to decide, what is it that you want for your clients? What's the end goal? What is it you need to track, so that you can point out to them, hey, this doesn't look good, or this does look good for you, and track the progress. And I think that it can be used, like, you could use it as a selling feature, like, hey, we've collectively as a group just lost 50 pounds in the last month. Like, you could throw that out into a sales email, like, just to let people know how awesome the program is, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So those would be the things that I would kind of recommend for people as far as how to utilize it inside their group, inside their business.
Amazing tips, Karen, from how to position it in your business model, to how you have them sign a waiver, and you show how the data,
that was the word I was looking for.
The data is safe and secure and all of that. And but also in general, you talk about the importance of just training them, right? Because this is a new type of system. We're on such the cutting edge that it's new for a lot of people. And while it's quite simple, anything that's new requires training to make it stick and be valuable. So, you know, that's such a great point. And we're here to really continue to help other health professionals with these, like, if anything of what Karen has shared with you resonates with you, like, let us know. Like, we're, if there's a way, maybe Karen, if they could learn more about your practice, like, where's a good place to go? And then we'll kind of wrap
they can
up.
at KarenMartel.com, or you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Karen Martel Nutrition. And honestly, if anybody's got questions about how I'm using it and what I think about it, don't hesitate to reach out and, you know, DM me on Instagram or on Facebook.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Karen.
You're welcome, TJ.
Keep up the great work, and we're excited and grateful to be continuing to work with you. So,
And thanks for everything you guys do.
yeah, you bet. See ya.